Andy Coleman, welcome to Mastermind Mondays. I'm glad that you're here.
I'm sure everybody here heard the stat last year 71% of agents closed zero deals. It's a little bit less back in 2020, but it was something around that. We had a 70% failure rate. These are the numbers that I was looking up as soon as I got my real estate license. And I was like, I don't want to be a statistic. So I started working with buyers and sellers, just like my broker and all the mentors told me to do. 1 month went by, absolutely nothing. It was crickets. I wasn't getting any leads. I started thinking, why would anybody trust me with the biggest purchasing decision of their life? They wouldn't.
Mhm.
I'm brand new. I have no clue what I'm doing. Somebody that's going to buy a $500,000 asset or sell a $500,000 asset, why would they ever trust me? They will not. So I pivoted instantaneously. Right then and there, in I think it was February of 2020, I learned how to work with renters. My first year of real estate, I closed 50 deals. Nothing crazy, honestly, nothing crazy. I made like 80,000 in commission, right? Average salary, whatever. Second year in real estate, I learned I was onto something. I said, wow, I'm a new agent. Not only did I not fail, I closed a bunch of deals. Didn't make a crazy amount of money, but I closed a lot of deals, got a lot of experience, and guess what? I turned 6 renters into buyers that first year. So, and I did nothing, no marketing for buyers or sellers whatsoever. Literally, never sat in open house, did no FISBO cold calls, no door knocking, no mailers, none of that stuff. What I did was I got warm leads for rentals. So these were all tenants for leases. That's all I did. And I was able to convince 6 of them, instead of renting, to buy a home with me instead. Now, this took, I would say, a couple months of closing some rental deals to get, a little experience under my belt. But then in my second year, I turned it up like you wouldn't believe. I closed 150 deals. Second year in real estate, right? I'm brand new, only been doing real estate for 12 months. That year, I made $256,000 in commission. That's when I iconed for my first time with EXP. And I believe I was ranked number 5 in the world out of 90,000 agents after only being in real estate for 1 year, because I did something nobody else was doing. I was working with renters, but then it got way better. In 2022, this was, I mean, you guys probably remember when the market started getting a little shaky, right? We had interest rates go up 7 times. So instead of a 2.5% interest rate, we jumped up to 8% in 2022. So the peak in June, oh man, it was getting rough for realtors, not me. I closed 256 deals as a solo agent. Solo agent. I iconed twice in that 1 year. How it works with the EXP is once you icon for the first time in a calendar year, you can icon again within the next calendar year. My anniversary date was October. Literally took me a month and a half to icon. Month and a half. And only 1% of the company ever does it because I had a secret. I was working with renters. I could do a massive amount of volume. That year, I made $510,000 in commission. Only being in real estate for 2 years, I had made $500,000. Guess how much my overhead was? Guess how much I spent to make that $500,000? Anybody have any guesses?
No, I certainly don't want to guess because I already have a good idea. But if anybody's got a guess, put it in the chat box. Let's see if you have any idea how much he spent to get that much business. Anybody? Come on, guys.
I'm going to wait.
There's
100K, 350K.
Yep.
Nobody's even close. So 50K.
50,000.
See, Mike just about got it. Mike just about got it. I spent about $0. Okay. $0. So the $510,000 in commission all went into my pocket because I'm an icon agent with EXP. I get 100% commission, right? So I'll tell you guys how I did this. Literally my strategy. I'll give you instructions. I'll show you step by step of what I did to actually do that. 2 years in the business, brand new. My career before this wasn't real estate. I had never sold a house, never bought a house in my life before this, right? How was I able to do this? I made $150,000 in 3 years. And I had almost zero overhead. My father once taught me a long time ago, it's not about how much money you make, right? Anybody can make money. Making money is easy, right? You want to make a lot of money? Go put, a ton of money into ads. Guess what? If you make $10,000, but you spend $9,000, you only made $1,000. You didn't make 10,000. That's what I learned a long time ago. And a lot of people, honestly, and I know it's not you guys, but a lot of people like to bury their heads in the sand. They don't look at these numbers. They don't look at their income compared to their expenses. So they don't know what their net profit actually is. I did. And when I say that makes the world of difference, it does, because I went from basically being broke. I had no money whatsoever in 2019. I was running really low. I had ran another business before this, mildly successful, 100,000 a year, nothing crazy, honestly. And I was coasting on all the money that I had saved up, over the years in my 20s. And then in 2019, I was like, damn, I'm like running out of money. I'm like down to zero over here. What the hell do I do? I got my real estate license, and that's when I began in 2020. And I'll tell you this right now. About 2025, about 5 years later, right? I'm a millionaire. 5 years. And not just, I've made about $2.5 million. I'm a millionaire, meaning I have $1 million. So when I say it's not about how much money you spend, it's about how much money you keep, I mean that. So everybody's really got to get that concept in their head when I explain exactly how to do this. Because if you buy leads from Zillow Premier and you're spending what, $2,000-$3,000 a month, you're getting 30 leads a month, right? And you only make, let's say, one sale, you're really not being that profitable and efficient with your money, because you got other expenses, other overhead that we have as realtors, right? Here's the thing. What is everybody doing for lead generation right now in 2025? I want everybody to drop it in the chat. What are you doing to generate leads right now, today? I'll give you guys a second.
There's sphere of influence.
Sphere of influence. Okay. I'm gonna dissect that in a second. Sphere of referrals. Okay. Cold calling, prospecting. Okay. We're gonna talk about that. Open houses. Okay. Ooh. We're gonna. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dissect each one of these one by one really fast, right? Then I'm gonna show you what I do, and then you guys can make a decision if you want to try it or not. Let's start with sphere of influence. That is never, and I mean never, anybody's primary source of lead generation. I don't ever want to hear that an agent is only relying on their sphere. That means whoever taught you real estate has failed you, because you're not going to get new leads if you're only relying on your sphere. Think about it. That's the whole aspect of a sphere of influence. It's your previous leads. It's no new leads. In real estate, to be successful, you have to get new. This is the number one trick. The number one secret that I have, you have to get leads daily, every day. You have to get leads coming in. I don't care how you get them, honestly. You could do my method if you want, right? It's made me successful, but there's other methods out there. The primary system for being a successful real estate agent is lead generation. It's number one. There's nothing more important than that. So, sphere of influence, there's a fundamental flaw, because it's impossible to get new leads. Sphere of influence should only be used as a secondary method to get closings. That's it. Secondary method always, right? It's a mandatory. You have to do sphere of influence. I'm not saying don't do it. You have to. I do it, but it's never something that you rely on to make your income. It's always just bonus income. So here's how you build a sphere of influence: by generating leads, right? Now, let's talk about some of the aspects of how you generate leads, right? Cold calling, prospect calling, open houses, okay? Those are some big ones. What else? Social media, neighborhood handouts, like, door knocking. Okay, so everybody, I'll pay for them, Zillow Premier. Okay, so all of these. Now, every single one of these, do you guys see a central theme? Let me see if anybody can get this. Do you guys see a central theme for every single one of those? Cold calling, prospect calling, open houses, paying for them on Zillow Premier, networking, social media, neighborhoods, door knocking. Anybody see a central theme for all 8 of those lead generation methods? What's the one thing they all have in common? Anybody? What do they have in common? Not being present, a lot of effort. No, not. Oh, I mean, yes, yeah. Being in front of people. You have to be in front of people. It's all about conversation starting. Agent central. No time. No, not time investment. You're gonna have to invest time in everything, no matter what. I'll tell you guys. Every single one of those, and yes, meeting new people. These are all good things, right? But buyers and sellers. That's it. Every single one of those 8 methods y'all just listed, buyers and sellers, all of them. That's the issue in real estate today. There's a third option nobody talks about, nobody tells you to do. Actually, it's the opposite. They say, don't do it. They discourage you from doing it. That's right, Ella. More rentals. Look, buyers, sellers, rentals. That's three. Everybody ignores the third one, everybody. That's how I've been so successful, because I have no competition. All 30 of you in here, you're not my competition. Nobody is. Nobody does this. I don't have any kind of saturation. Look, if you're trying to hold open houses, guess how many open houses those people, the people that are coming to your open houses, guess how many they're seeing that day? They probably have a whole list, right? FSBO cold calling. You call a FSBO, drop it in the chat. How many people call that one FSBO owner before you get to them, right? Let's say you call at 5 o'clock. How many agents have called that FSBO owner by 5 o'clock at night? Drop it in there. I want to see what everybody says. 5, nope, not even close. 12, not even close. No, too much. It's about 50 or so. That's the average. That's the industry average. For a new FSBO, about 50 agents call that one poor owner a day. So by 5 o'clock, that owner is pulling his hair out. He is picking up the phone, or she, and another one of you goddamn agents, leave me alone. That's called saturation. That's called competition. I don't have that with rentals. All of my tenants on how I get my leads, none of them, and I mean none of them, have options. They don't. They really don't. Maybe now a little bit, because I'm starting to teach this to people. I'm actually starting to teach this. So we're starting to build a little bit of competition, but not much, right? Like, I have a whole system that I teach. I've only taught 500 agents. And guess what? There's 1.5 million of us out there in America. So the saturation hasn't even really begun just yet. But everybody else, right? The 1.5 million agents, they're all doing the same thing. They're all doing the FSBOs, the door knocking, the open houses, the mailers, or everybody. Here's the thing. You're all competing for a tiny piece of that market share. Watch. Anybody can go Google this right now. I want somebody to Google this and just verify what I'm saying. Last year in 2024, does anybody know how many house sales there were, right? It was about 4 million, okay? 4 million house sales in 2024 is the lowest on record, all right? This year, it's expected to be even lower. How many rentals were there in 2024? Now, if you Google this and look this up, it will say 4 million buyers and seller sales, right? If you say how many rentals in 2024, it'll say 45 million. Let's do the math really quick. What's 4 million divided by 45 million? That's a 10-to-1 ratio, give or take, 10-to-1 ratio, meaning 90% of the market right now is renting homes. 90%. Even think about it from a seller's perspective, right? They're locked in. If they bought in 2020, 21, right? They're locked in at a 2.5% interest rate. My brother right now is going through this. He bought in 2020, got a phenomenal deal on the house, and he's got a 2.5% interest rate. He wants to move. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, do I sell the house and lose my 2.5% rate? He's asking me. And I'm like, Justin, that's his name. You better not sell that house. Do you know when the interest rates have ever been 2.5%? Never. Never. First time in the history of America that we've had a 2.5% interest rate. If you lose that now, you'll never get it again. And that's the difference of thousands of dollars per month. every 1 percentage point, depending on the house's value on a $500,000 home, every 1 percentage point, that mortgage rate, it's like $300, $400, $500 per month. If you're talking at a 7% interest rate compared to a 2.5% interest rate, oh my God, you're literally saving over $2,000 a month. That's the difference between a $2,000 a month payment to a $4,000 just by a simple interest rate, right? That's double the payment. I told him, I said, do not sell that house. Whatever you do, get a property manager, rent it out. That's what Americans are doing right now. That's why we've had 4 million house sales, but 45 million rentals. Sellers are becoming landlords, and would-be buyers are becoming tenants. They're waiting the market out right now. Anybody can go on Fox News, CNBC, Forbes, anything. They're all saying the same thing. Buyers are on strike. They're waiting. Here's the thing. It's not the mortgage rates. The mortgage rates going up to 7%. Yeah, it sucks. It's not the problem. Mortgage rates used to be 18% back in the 70s. 18%. I think it was like 1978 going into the 80s. 18% mortgage rates. The difference back then, home prices, the appreciation of a home should be about 5% per year, right? That's the average. Over the last 10 years, it's been about 6%, up a little bit higher. Here's the thing. 2019, homes appreciated, going into 2020, of course, homes appreciated 30 to 40% in 1 year. Same thing happened in 2021. 2022 slowed down a little bit, but essentially over those 3 years, homes appreciated by 100%. 100% in value over 3 years. That's the fastest in the history of real estate. Homes have never went up that fast by that much ever. That created a big problem because they can't keep mortgage rates at 2.5% anymore. How could they? If they do, would-be buyers would buy up even more of the inventory. And our problem back in 22, we had no inventory. You guys remember this. Inventory was at an all-time low. They had to raise the interest rates. They jumped up to 8%. Buyers said, oh my God, prices of homes have literally doubled in a couple of years, and now they want me to pay 8%? Doesn't make sense anymore. Let's use an average home. Average homes are about $420,000, right? In America today. An average home at $400,000. If you buy that home at 5% down, how much you spend a month, right? You spend about $3,500 a month. $3,500 a month for a $400,000 home with 5% down. If you put 20%, it's $3,000. That is unaffordable because back in the 70s, you would need to earn about 2.5 to 3 times your income to buy a house, right? So if you made $50,000, you would buy a $150,000 home. Back then, that was a decent house. Today, to make 2 or 3 times and buy a house at a $50,000 a year salary, who on earth would live in a $150,000 home? Has any one of you seen a home that's 150 grand that is livable? Absolutely. That's a shack. That's probably a 200 square foot shack where you don't want to be, right? Those homes that used to cost 150 grand are now minimum 400,000. At $50,000 a year income, you now have to pay 7 times, right? Do the math. Was it 7? It's either 7 or 8 times your income to buy a house. Unaffordable. Can't afford it. It's supposed to be 30%, right? That's how much if you make $5,000 a month, you can't buy a house for $3,500 a month. You have no margins. You're supposed to make $15,000 a month to be able to afford a $5,000 payment. Same thing, $3,000 a month payment, you got to make $9,000 a month, right? The problem is in America, the average salary is like 60 grand. Translate that to per month. Geez, that's like what, 5,000, 6,000 a month, right? They can't afford some 5,000, 6,000. They can't afford what they want. The homes are too expensive and they're not making enough money. Income hasn't kept up. Now, why I taught you guys all of this, this is information that you must know, because once you realize this, the choice is clear. What type of client lead should you be focusing on? Should you be focusing on the buyer who can't afford a house, the seller who refuses to sell their house for a reasonable price, or the renter, the renter, the renter that is waiting for prices to come down and rates to come down and inventory to go up? 90% of the market is renting. We just talked about that. And I literally just explained exactly why. This is no, guesswork here. It's all stats, it's all numbers, right? Guys, if you focus on the 90%, I don't care what market you're in. You could be in California, New York, South Florida like me, doesn't matter. You will close more deals. I don't know how many, I don't know how much you'll make. I will tell you this, I've taught 500 agents how to do this. Some of them are making $50,000 a month. And remember what we talked about before, there is no overhead, right? Or if there is, it's super minimal. It's so minimal, you don't even notice it. Here's how to do it. There's 3 different main strategies that I'm going to tell you guys right now. The first one is my MLS strategy, okay? My MLS strategy, that is my bread and butter. Now, I have agents out there that are doing other strategies that I teach, like apartment locating. And by the way, anybody can watch any of these videos on my YouTube channel. I put all of this on my YouTube channel. Anybody can watch it. I'm going to drop the link in the chat over here. It's just Andy Coleman on YouTube. No, sorry, that's my main channel now. Hey, actually, you know what? This is a good time to say this. If anybody wants to see any of the data that I was just talking about right now, I make housing market videos with all that kind of data on my main YouTube channel. It's Andy Coleman on YouTube. Then I got a second channel I just made, Andy Coleman Real Estate. That breaks down what I'm about to tell you right now. That's all my realtor strategies, how to get leads, how to convert leads, all of that on my real estate channel. You guys should subscribe to both. You'll learn a lot, seriously. All right, so now, when you're picking one of these strategies I'm about to tell you, it's okay to try out each one of them first and then see which one you like, if you want to go in this direction. MLS strategy is working with tenants that want single families, townhomes, duplexes, condos, right? Now, there's something else called apartment locating. I'm sure you guys have heard of apartment locating before. It's when you bring a tenant to an apartment complex and the apartment complex will pay you a referral fee. Now, every apartment complex doesn't pay a referral fee. Same thing in my market. I have a whole spreadsheet of all the ones that pay and don't pay. So what do? You avoid the ones that don't pay. We'll get into that in a second. Some of them will pay you 1 month's rent commission. If a property is $2,500, you're going to walk away with $2,500 for about 1 hour of work. Not joking. I have this on my YouTube channel. I've timed deals. I've done live deals, timed them. 1 hour of work for an apartment complex. It is dirt simple. No paperwork. We'll talk about it. But the MLS strategy, a little bit different. That strategy, that involves a little bit more work, but you get paid a lot faster and you can turn a lot more renters into buyers, which I'll talk about. You get half a month's rent commission for that. So if it's a $3,000 single family home, which is getting to be average in America, right? You're going to make $1,500. And then I do something really cool. I charge a transaction fee to the tenant. I'm sure everybody here charges a transaction fee to their buyers and sellers, right? Probably $500. I charge a $300 transaction fee to every tenant that I work with. So even if I make $1,500 on a deal, I walk away with $1,800. It's amazing, right? Then you got to understand, not everybody's going to pay you that half month's rent commission. If you're in a place like Orlando, Florida, for instance, it's just 3 hours north of where I live in South Florida. They only pay about $500 per rental. They don't have the luxury of making $1,500 like I do. So that extra $300 becomes really important because now instead of making $500, you make $800. Here's where the magic happens though. You're not just doing 1, 2, 3 of these a month, right? MLS deals a little more time consuming, about 2 or 3 hours. Okay, so I say time consuming, but yeah, 2 or 3 hours. You're only going to show 1, 2, maybe 3 properties if the person's picky. I literally teach agents how to do this. It wasn't like this in the beginning of my career. I was showing 10, 15 rentals per person. I didn't have a clue what I was doing back then. I was only making $700 a deal, spending 20 hours per renter. That's why rentals get a bad name. I experienced it, but I figured there must be a better way to do this. Most agents give up before they figure that out. I didn't give up. I doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down, and I literally mastered this. I created a whole system out of it, systematized this entire rental process to where 1 or 2 hours per deal for an apartment complex, 2 or 3 hours per deal for an MLS property. Same thing for a rental listing landlords, which is my third strategy. And I got my commission up to around $2,000 per deal. That's my commission right now. It's going to vary per state, right? But my average is about 2,000 because if you get a landlord, right? That's my third strategy, getting landlord leads and basically getting a rental listing. You'll get the full month's rent commission if you double end it, which should be very easy with my systems. My MLS strategy literally feeds back in to the landlord strategy. So you double end the deals and then you get more tenant leads because you're posting it on your MLS. So if you're posting it on your MLS, it's syndicating to every site out there. Remember how I said before, free leads? How much does it cost to get a landlord? With my system, $0. You put it in your MLS, $0, right? We're not counting the overhead because everybody needs MLS anyways, right? $0 for that. And then it syndicates to every site, Zillow, Realtor, Trulia, Apartment Stock, everything. Free. You can get 100 leads a day. That's what I get right now. I woke up today on September 15th. I had 95 leads sitting there in my inbox today. I still do real estate.
I just got to stop you right there. Who here would like to wake up every day in their inbox and see 100 leads from people that have raised their hand that said, I want to rent a property. And they obviously, you've got a system, Andy, of getting these guys to not just want to rent, but some of them do rent, but some of them also want to have the conversation about buying. And then, so this is what you're doing, man. This is brilliant. Continue, sir. I'm impressed.
So every day when I get these leads, all I have to do is convince that lead to work with me. That is what I like to call converting a lead to a client. Okay. These are very simple processes. And then from there, you want to convert that client to a closed deal. Now, obviously there's steps, there's steps in between that. I literally mapped all of this out. I have entire systems structured, step-by-step instructions. Not joking. Step-by-step instructions, and then a training on each one of those steps to master it. Because anybody can do a rental. It's very, very easy to do a rental, but can you do it well? And can you do a lot of them a month? And can you spend a very little amount of time per rental? And can you get your average commission up to a place where you could literally, I'm not joking, become rich with rentals? That's what I named my system. I called my system Rich with Rentals because I literally went from almost $0 to millionaire within a couple of years. So the reason why this is so effective right now is not just because there's no competition, not just because everybody is renting right now. It's because you're also building a massive pipeline. You all talked about it before, sphere of influence, right? When I moved to Florida, I had 3 people in my phone, okay? In this phone here, I had 3 people that I knew in Florida. I didn't have a sphere of influence. Wouldn't work for me. I had to build one. Today, 5 years later, I have over 250,000 people in my sphere of influence in 5 years. 250,000 people, right? I got 100 leads a day. Multiply that by 5 years, right? I mean, geez, the amount of people that you can talk to, because somebody said it before, conversations, you got to be in front of people. That's the name of the game, right? You want to get in front of as many people as humanly possible. If you can get 3,000 leads a month for $0, you can build a massive sphere of influence. Then that becomes your secondary source of deals, right? Because now you have leads coming in every day as your primary source, and then you have extra deals from your sphere, which I don't got to tell you guys this. You know how many referrals you would get from hundreds of thousands of people in your sphere. I get a referral every day, every single day. This phone rings with a referral every day, and I give it out now. I don't even have to do my own deals anymore. That's the coolest part. I've been doing real estate for 5 years, and year number 3, I pivoted. This is back in 2022. I started a team and I got agents to do my deals for me. That's the beauty of this. It took me 3 years to do what a normal agent has to wait 20 years for. 3 years. I got agents that are begging me to be on my team now because of what I've accomplished. Any single one of you could do the exact same thing. I'm going to tell you step by step right now. So watch. Take a rental listing and put it, this is my MLS strategy, by the way, right? So let's systematize this in our heads, right? We'll think headline, rental system, branch down. We got MLS strategy, apartment complex strategy, landlord strategy, okay? 3 strategies. Then subsystems, okay? Very simple, okay? I break this all down in my actual program. I'll drop a link if anybody wants to check it out. It's very simple. It's richwithrentals.com, www.richwithrentals.com. If anybody wants to go on there and follow along with me right now, you absolutely could. Here's the thing. My MLS strategy is, I would honestly say the easiest. I would say the easiest. Apartment complex system is very easy too, but MLS is, I find it the easiest. And you get paid immediately, second they walk in to do the final walkthrough. The apartment complex system, you got to wait 30 days for the tenants to move in before the apartment complex pays you. So that's, I mix MLS properties with apartment complexes with landlords because you can turn more renters to buyers for single family homes, which is MLS properties. Most people that live in apartment complexes, they don't have the same aspirations of buying a house. They just don't. Some do, of course. I've gotten them, obviously, but you get more. Just take my word for it. And then you can turn landlords to sellers if you're getting landlords, right? So here's how it works. I'm going to explain the MLS strategy first. MLS strategy, you take any broker advertised yes listings. Now, every state's different. Some of you are in states where every property that goes into the MLS is technically any broker advertised. Some states, you have to check your local state laws. It's very easy. Just call up your board of realtors and ask them. Literally, that's it. Give them a call. Hey, what's the laws regarding advertising our rental listings if they're in the MLS? That's it. It's very simple. If you don't have any broker advertised in your state, right, in your local MLS, it's okay. It's fine. All you have to do, and I do this too. I have any broker advertised, and I still do what I'm about to tell you right now. I ask for permission. Every single person, listing agent, of course, every single listing agent that I advertise their rental property, I call them up or I text them or I email them or I do all 3. And I ask them, hey, is it okay if I advertise your property, right? And once they say yes, I have a 99% success rate of yes. Once they say yes, I post it on a place like Facebook Marketplace. 100% free. Again, free. These are not Facebook ads. It's different. It's not Facebook original, different. Facebook Marketplace, free to post a rental listing, okay? Then, well, I should caveat that with there are other methods to use. Facebook Marketplace is the base entry, beginner level, easy mode. There's more complex, harder syndication systems out there and groups and this and that. There's more to it than that, but anybody can start right now on Facebook Marketplace. I was making, in my second year of real estate, I only used Facebook Marketplace and groups, and I made $256,000 in commission. That was that year. And then I kind of upgraded my next year. That's how I made $510,000 by doing more advanced strategies that I teach, of course. Now, once you post a property in Facebook Marketplace, you're going to get a stream of leads reaching out to you on the daily. This is how I generate 100 leads a day. Depending on the property, every property is not created equally. You could post a bad property, you could post a good property. There is a massive difference, right? And let me briefly explain this really fast. Price, quality, size, location, okay? Did my camera just zoom into me? What the heck happened here?
Well, I think this was a really important part of what you were talking. So I thought you did that on purpose.
No, that was cool. That was cool. So if you get these,
there you go.
Is it back to normal again? I can't see on my screen right now. Okay, good. So if you get these leads reaching out to you on a daily basis, they're warm leads. They're not just reaching out to you to see that property. They're reaching out to you because they need help.
Mhm.
The initial message is always going to be the same. Hey, is this property available? Hey, can I set up a showing? But that's not the reason they're reaching out. They're reaching out because they need help, right? Otherwise, they'd already be in a rental. They need help. So with that mentality in mind, your primary goal is not that initial property. It's not. Your primary goal is to get them set up in your MLS. I want to make this very clear. You have to get them set up in your MLS. That's the most important thing that you could possibly do. Forget the original property. It's not important. Think about it from this aspect. Let's say you have 100 leads for one property. How many people can move into that one property?
One. Well, I mean, one family, right?
One family. What are you going to do with those other 99 leads? You can't get them in that property. That's why I say that initial property, not important. If you get it rented out, phenomenal, great. It's not the reason why you're doing this. The reason why you're doing this is to get conversations started, to get leads, to get in front of people. I have found that this is the most effective method to generate the most amount of leads for the least amount of money. There you go. That is how you could easily, and I mean easily, make $1 million a year within 2 years from now. 2 years from now. Think about it. If you do 300 rentals, that's about 150 rentals a year. It's a lot. That is a lot. You got to work really hard for this. It's an easy system once you master it, and anybody can do it, but you have to work hard. I'm not discounting that, but anybody can then take those 300 renters when the market flips in 2 years and get 30% of them to buy a house with you. That's 90 buyers. That's $1 million in commission. Any single one of you sitting here right now here today can replicate exactly what I've done, and you could become a multi-millionaire in 2 years from now in this housing market, because you're going to do something that nobody else has ever thought to do. Look, Jeff just said it. He's been doing this for 30 years. He's never, ever even considered doing this because everybody says it's a bad idea, because everybody starts doing rentals and they lose interest before they ever get good. If Michael Jordan, the first time Michael Jordan picked up a basketball, everybody knows him, right? If he was like, oh shit, I missed my first layup, I missed my first three-pointer, and he stopped playing basketball, he never would have became the best in the world. That's what I've done. I never stopped. And I accumulated a system where you could literally generate hundreds, thousands of leads a month. You can convert those leads at about a 5-6% ratio. That's typically what I see. 5-6% ratio. And you can close anywhere from 5 to 30 of these a month. That's my record. I did 30 in 1 month. My best student right now, he did 23 rentals in a month. His name is Sterling Wooten. He's in Texas. Anybody could watch it. I interviewed him. He's on my YouTube channel. He's on my website as well. I have like 30 testimonials, full length, 30-minute testimonials. Any single one of you can do this on your own, or you could save years of your life and you could learn directly from me. I'll tell you this right now. The average agent that I teach, they will get leads within 2 or 3 hours. 2 or 3 hours, you're going to learn enough from my system. That's how I structure this. I structured it in such a way where it's all organized. It's all time stamped. It's all exactly what you need to start posting listings and start getting leads coming in. By this time tomorrow, if anybody started doing this, you would have at least 5 or 10 leads. And that's going to scale until you're getting 100 leads a day. And that's just my MLS system, right? Then you're going to start turning renters to buyers. You're going to start closing 5, 6, 7, 10 rentals a month. You're going to make $10,000 every single month. Now, once you're doing that, okay, all you have to do is scale. You could do it yourself, and you could scale into closing 30 deals a month and a couple buyers a month, or you can scale into a team.